Good morning, everybody. Hold on 1 second. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode 240 of Altadena Talks. This is Tuesday, so it's the Tony Talks edition, and we're actually going to be live. Hold on a second. Let me do this. Why am I hearing this? Oh, there we go. All right, sorry. So, so Toni and Brian are actually live on location. We're actually going to get a SonicFire Tech demo. This is that new technology that Toni was talking about. We had Allison on last week. And they're actually going to utilize sound to actually put out fire. Waiting for Brian to join because he's going to be doing the filming and everything. So in the meantime, I want to thank everybody for tuning in on a regular basis. We appreciate you. Let me go live here and then go live over here. All right. All right, cool. So just waiting for Brian to join, and then we'll get that live demo to see how that technology works. I'm really intrigued to see how it works and if it's really effective and quick, because you know what, that's going to solve a lot of problems. It's probably going to make the insurance companies very happy because it's going to be a technology that can put out fires rather quickly and not do additional damage to the home like sprinklers do, for example. Sprinklers are very effective, yet, you know, if the sprinklers have to go on, then you could potentially have water damage as well. So the fact that they can potentially use some sound to put out the fire is going to be awesome. And then we're probably going to hear some folks talk a bit. And let's see, I want to make sure I sent it to him. Yep, I sent it to him. Then I'll do the announcements and everything a little bit afterwards, and hoping that they come on pretty soon. In the interim, as usual, thank you for everybody who tunes in. We've had a lot of great conversations about mental health, as we've talked about before, and just, you know, preparations for the holidays. I'd love to know how everybody's doing. Did you guys get your trees and get it all up and decorated? You put any lights on the outside of the house? Have you done any shopping yet? I know my wife, she's already done quite a bit of shopping because we get packages all the time, but it's a little extra right now because it's close to the holidays, so it's actually pretty cool. I personally haven't done anything, but I'm a typical guy and I wait till the last minute to do everything, so you know how that goes. Let's see here. Good morning, Marcus. Glad to have you on the show. Yes, the anchor man. I'm surprised Brian hasn't tuned in yet because I know he's kind of manning the shop over there. There's Toni. All right, here we go. I'm gonna bring Toni on now. There we go. What's up, Toni?
Hey, Jamal.
How you doing? How's it going out there?
To start? Anna, go live. Oh, he is live.
Oh, we're live. We've been live. I've been live for a few minutes. It's been 3 minutes and 57 seconds. So once you tell everybody where you are, give them a recap whenever you get a chance.
Hold on. And can you bring Brian in?
As soon as he pops on.
Okay. I think I need to go get my earphones. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
So this morning we are... Brian, go loud, Jamal said. Jamal said pop in. Jamal said pop in so he could bring you on the stage. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
We are off site. We are in Pasadena at Victory Bible Church. We are here with PCI Builders and a company called Sonic Tech, because as soon as Brian comes on, you guys will see Allison speaking. Oh, there.
This event, any information, any insight, any technology, anything that's going to help our community move forward, anything that's going to help our community with ensuring that insurance prices.
I'm going to mute you, Toni.
Anything that is fair, that's what we want to be a part of. So we're excited to be able to stand with you when it comes to building materials, building technology, and bringing forward information and things that the general public might not know, that contractors might not be aware of, that our community, hasn't been exposed to, because it's so important that these things happen in a fair and equitable and just way. And so we're excited to be able to align with that and what that means. Here at Victory Bible Church, since January 7th, we have stood up as not as a church, but really importantly, being a place that the community can trust, where they can come and get resources and get information about things that are true and things that are helpful. With that said, along the way, we've seen the unmet needs of the family. We've been in the trenches and being able to hear the stories about the families who are having a tough time, a hard time, making a decision on whether or not they're going to rebuild or they're going to sell, what it means for their legacy, what it means for their generational wealth, what it means for the future, what it means for their children. And for us, it is important to advocate and be a part of that conversation. So I just want to thank all of you for being here and being able to be here at the church, because the church is a place, yes, we worship on Sunday, but Monday through Saturday, it is a place where community and life happens. And that for us is what the true embodiment of Christ means. And so with that said, I'm going to hand it back over to Allison. But again, I want to thank all of you for being here on the church grounds. And please know, when you think about the church, when you think about Victory Bible Church, know that this is a place that holds the heart of the community and the people we serve, that are not just in these walls, but it's our neighbors and it's the community at large. That's who we stand for, and that's who we love. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your words. And I wanted to take the opportunity to also thank our other sponsors, having Altadena Talks, Ms. Toni of Toni Talks here and helping us with the live stream. I also want to thank, in my capacity as president of the National Small Business Advocacy Council, my colleagues have really stepped up to help me get the word out and to support me in this. And to speak back to what Pastor Angel said, we need to bring this community back in a way that doesn't put it at risk for anything like this ever again. And the day after the fire happened, January 8th, I got to work to make sure that I was educating myself on how to protect my clients and meet the future needs of this community. And so that is why when I saw what Remington here of SonicFire Tech was offering, I jumped on it. And I got onto his website. I was like, wait, what is this? And he got back to me within minutes because he saw my area code of 626. He saw I was a home builder. And this city is very near and dear to him. And I will let him explain who he is and why this is a passion project for him as well.
Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Pastor. And thank you, Toni, and everybody for being here today. As Allison mentioned, I grew up in Pasadena and Altadena, grew up at friends' houses on these streets, lived just north on Maiden Lane where I raised my two kids. And my in-laws live in Eaton Canyon where the fire started that night. And during that catastrophic event, I saw firsthand, as many of us did, we certainly have a wildfire problem, but we also have an embers burning down homes crisis. And in that moment, I saw an opportunity to invite a paradigm shift and rethink fire suppression, rethink home defense, focused on those nasty embers. They are the threat in that moment. They accumulate around a home in 100-mile-an-hour winds. They accumulate in a zone zero landscape or around your home. That accumulation of embers transfers radiant heat that ignites the home. That ignited home then burns and ignites the home next to it and the home next to it, leading to a conflagration event that we saw firsthand. In that moment, I thought there's a way to solve the ember problem with new technology. We have a lot of technologies available to us. We have first responders who need water, more importantly, water pressure in those moments of absolute crisis. And what we are doing in the 150-year-old system we are leveraging those moments is simply not working for us now and will not work for us in the future. So while we experienced as a community and as my partner here, Daniel Fogelson from Palisades, witnessed when his home burned down that day as well in Palisades. In this catastrophic moment, in this devastating event for all of us, we have an opportunity to think differently about the future, think a little bit in a paradigm shift, if you will, rather than thinking about how we do things the same way as fast as we can. So we're here today to introduce SonicFire Tech. SonicFire Tech is a company started by a former NASA aerospace and thermoacoustic engineer named Jeff Bruder, who worked on the Venus rover at NASA for 15 years. His job was to figure out how to protect a rover in 1600 Fahrenheit atmosphere, as well as in an acid rain environment. And this needed to operate running continuously for a period of 15 years on its mission, with self-sustaining itself with energy and defending itself in that extreme heat environment. Those extremes were more extreme than what we experienced during the LA fires. And I reached out to him after finding his patent and winning a competition at MIT, where I came to that competition with an idea to protect homes autonomously from the threat of embers. And he showed me his technology, which was an acoustic generator box that deployed a sound wave at a frequency that's inaudible to the human ear, that when deployed, the frequency of sound oscillates or vibrates the molecule of oxygen in the environment, which breaks the chemical reaction and prevents ignition from occurring. So what we're going to demonstrate to you today is the technology in two forms. The technology in our backpack form, which has our acoustic generator built in. We took a leaf blower from Home Depot that you'll all recognize, I'm sure, and we modified it to deploy our acoustic frequency of sound wave through the wand. And we're going to show you how when we deploy that, we could put out a fire, but we could also prevent ignition from occurring. We are working with LAFD and fire departments all across the state on how we modify this technology to meet their everyday needs. One area that we're currently testing out of that relationship is putting out incipient fires on homeless encampments. They get about 15 to 20 calls a day in a lot of the cities in our county. For that, they're using a lot of water to do it, and they're destroying personal property in the process of putting out those fires. So we see this as an answer to that problem. Let's save water. Let's get on that fire quickly. Let's knock it out without water or chemical, and let's reduce the collateral damage we're doing when deploying our most valuable resource here in California, which is water. The second demonstration will show our system on this tiny home. So we envision a total residential system for technology for your home if you're rebuilding or retrofitting. We are going to run a 4-inch duct around the home, which could be concealed by your eaves or built within the rain gutter system. And we're going to run an acoustic signal using our acoustic generator, which you'll hear, which is inside this building. It's a 3x3 box, similar to an HVAC unit. It could be inside the home, in the attic, outside the home, against the home. And the system has a detector along each emitter that are placed every 10 feet. And each emitter has the ability to detect a chemical signature of fire or heat. When it detects it, we can use the most detective sensors because we're not worried about collateral damage of the system deployed, unlike water or chemicals. So we use the most sensitive detectors that are UL and FM rated. They're called Optec sensors. And when they detect the threat, they open the emitter. That emitter then releases this sonic signature, and that frequency of sound you'll see disrupt by vibrating oxygen the fire and put the fire out. The goal is not to have the fire ignite, but people like to see sound put out fire. So that's what we're going to show you today. But this can also be deployed interior on the home. So we're rebuilding these homes with a mandate in place to put water sprinkler systems inside these homes. Most of these homes that burnt did not have water sprinklers in place because the code was put in after these homes, these historical homes, and this historical community were built. So one of the costs builders are looking at and homeowners are looking at in rebuilding are the cost to put internal sprinkler systems in their home. The current water infrastructure in Los Angeles County, specifically in Altadena as well, is not in place to meet the needs of thousands of homes being built relying on this internal water suppression system. The pressure isn't there, the water isn't there, but it's mandated that we do this. And it's going to come at a greater cost because homeowner has the liability of putting in that booster pump and that added system to pressurize their unit. But insurers also know the collateral damage to those systems. Leaky pipes that go unmaintained, they corrode, they leak, and they cause water damage. And mold remediation is something that if you're a homeowner or in real estate, I'm sure you've experienced at least once in your life. So in an event like we saw, if we see that again and we have water systems in these homes, we're immediately going to rob the pressure away from the first responders who need it most. And to me, that idea is not acceptable. And to have that mandated by the county and the state is also unacceptable. So we're offering a paradigm shift in that our technology is going through certification in the new year. We are working with leading fire marshals across the state and also policymakers to help push for an executive order for adoption of acoustic suppression and or water suppression for interior use in a home. The exterior benefit is also valuable because you could pipe with one system internally and exterior, detect and suppress the fire, and autonomously protect your home. Our system doesn't depend on power or water. We know in that moment we couldn't depend on anything. So, and we've gotten very good at evacuating life. We've gotten very good at safety from our community standpoint. We lost lives, but we could have lost a lot more given the reality of that situation. So I think that problem is for the most part solved. But the economic and emotional devastation of losing our homes and our community is something that I never want anyone to experience. And I can't imagine our community ever experiencing again. So with acoustic suppression in these homes, inside and out, we can adopt this technology rapidly. We can have a paradigm shift occur within our community, and we can use this catastrophic event as an opportunity to bring new technology in the future that preserves our most valuable resource, that is water, preserve our pressure for first responders, and better protect our home with an autonomous system to mitigate the loss of property. So now I'll show you the backpack version first. When first responders get on scene at a lot of wildland fires, they typically have a crew that has a 5-gallon water pack that weighs 40 pounds, that with a little hand hose that lasts about 15 minutes getting on an incipient fire and putting it out. And they have to run back to the truck, refill, and then go back to it. In that time, the fire builds. So we built this backpack as a device for them where they can use it continuously. It runs on backup battery. This Ego battery will power it for 3 hours running continuously, and they could swap the batteries and go for another 3 hours. So for hotshot crews, for cleanup crews, and for incipient fires such as homeless encampment fires, we believe this system could be very useful for the fire departments. So what we're going to show you is a pan of alcohol. It's a chemical fire. It's we all know alcohol burns. So we're going to show you how our system operates in the most basic of forms to give you guys a little bit of an idea of the technology. So Daniel's going to pour some alcohol in this pan, or he already did. I like the alcohol. You see the sound waves put it out. We vibrated oxygen, cut the chemical reaction, fire disappeared. Sounds like magic, but it's physics. So what you'll notice is it looks like a leaf blower, and you want to see maybe air is putting up fire. Maybe I'm blowing it out. If I were blowing it, that alcohol would be all over you. That pan would be 5 feet away. So if anybody wants to come up and feel it, it's a pressure wave of infrasound. That's inaudible to our ears, inaudible to house pets, only audible, as we know from our research, to wolves and sea mammals. So the pressure wave, that's going and bumping molecules about 30 feet away, preventing ignition from occurring. Now I'll show you what I think is more impressive and the point of the technology, which is to prevent ignition from the get-go. So when I put this over the pan of alcohol that you just saw ignite, see what happens. So what you saw is the non-ignition zone. We actually put out the torch. We broke the ignition of the torch from the butane to the actual fire. There's a little bit of a gap there. And what you saw is when putting the torch directly into the alcohol, it doesn't ignite. How does that happen? By vibrating the molecule of oxygen, we make it go from a steady state to an unsteady state, and we break the chemical reaction. That's how simple this is. Fire needs fuel and oxygen to operate. We remove that oxygen by oscillating it. We don't remove it from the environment like a gas system does or a chemical system does. So it's safe to breathe. It's inaudible to our ear. You're hearing the acoustic generator. And what you'll recognize is I didn't use our #1 most valuable resource here in California, which is water to extinguish a flame. Anybody have any questions about the backpack? Wow.
Big is the affected area. Let's say if this facade right here was up on fire, was on fire.
Yes.
So did it take care of that?
Yes. So this system right here is 5 watts of acoustic energy.
What's the mic?
Yeah.
So the answer is right now we get about 10 feet. So we're protecting the zone 0 of a home. And that's with our 5 kilowatt system. What we are putting on homes in February from LA to Santa Barbara County is a system that is 100 times more powerful, 500 watts of acoustic energy. And the scientific breakthrough that our engineer and founder, Jeff Reuter, patented was the ability to convert electricity wattage into acoustic wattage, highly efficient, or acoustic output. DARPA, they spent $20 or so million working on this technology, and they took 50,000 watts of energy to produce 1 acoustic watt of output. Our engineers developed a new system and a new way of doing this where we take 600 watts of energy and produce 500 watts of acoustic energy. So it's a very highly efficient system and can run on backup battery for days, running continuously without the need for power and water.
How heavy is the backpack?
So the backpack's 40 pounds.
40 pounds.
And we're bringing it down to 25 pounds and giving it 100 times, 10 times the power. No, 100 times the power. Sorry. So our goal with the backpack is we can extinguish fires up to 100 feet away. And for the home unit, we look at 30 feet as really being the sweet spot around a home with non-ignition. And unlike water sprinkler systems on the exterior, we see this as being meaningfully adoptable and scalable across the community. Because we know from COVID times and now through conflagration, herd immunity is required to protect our most valuable assets. So a water sprinkler in every home deploying at the same time is not realistic. But a community with sonic suppression built in on every home or on the utility lines, strategically placed in relationship with the utilities, municipalities, and homeowners, could create a herd immunity for a community, especially at that initial wildfire and urban interface. I think about this as a snowdrift, right? We've gotten really good at capturing snow on the highway. We haven't gotten good at capturing embers at an interface. This technology has the ability to reduce that in a meaningful way without power or water. Yes, Tony.
I have a lot of questions, but I'll just do one right now. Is there or are there any plans for this backpack to be made available to homeowners? Like, you know how we now have
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
kitchen extinguishers? Something like that for those that may not be able to do this initially?
Yes. So we are inviting a paradigm shift in the fire suppression industry. There are many ways we can go with this technology, simply in thinking through replacing the use of water or chemical or gas in extinguishing fires. So a handheld fire extinguisher gets on an incipient fire, knocks it out. We could do that with the smaller version of the backpack or a handheld fire extinguisher, ideally.
And will it work on any kind of fire? Like if it were an automobile or electrical, as long as it's burning,
Yeah.
it will extinguish the flame?
So we have tested on every type of fire: electrical fire, chemical fire, gas fire, and a wood fire or home fire. But lithium-ion batteries is what we're testing. It's worked on all the others. With lithium-ion batteries, the science or our scientists show that we can contain likely a battery fire by preventing ignition from things that are around it. But once that thermal runaway occurs, there's nothing really that's going to stop it. But we're hopeful that our system that's 1,000 times more powerful than this will be able to show some data and how we could be more effective there. And yeah, once we answer that, that's the golden goose, if you will, the silver bullet, I should say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How far do you have to be from, or how close or how far with the backpack?
Yeah, so this backpack right here is within a 10 to 30 foot range, depending on the fire. I obviously was a little closer than that today. And same with this, and this is a 5-watt system. So this is our prototype system. Our commercial system is 100 times more powerful, and we'll be demonstrating that here in late February, early March, in partnership with leading insurers who have all stated they want to see it work in that environment. IBHS, State Farm, Mercury, Aon, Deloitte, Stan, a few others. And once they see it working in the way they think, it can answer the conflagration component really meaningfully in a way other things that are on the market can't. And they've gone as far as saying they would mandate this in these communities. And our job is, before that mandate comes, to get to a level of demand and scale to make it affordable, so that it's as affordable or at the level of what's currently mandated, the investment of internal fire sprinklers, but the more bang for the buck, you get value internally and externally.
You said if this setup is 5 watts, it protects 10 feet out, is that right?
Yes.
And as you go up higher watt, what do you expect how far out to protect?
So each home is unique. So we look at, in this tight urban environment, I think 10 to 30 feet, somewhere around there, around the home, makes a lot of sense. Some other more remote places, a little bit further, makes more sense. But our system, our 500 kilowatt system, could protect, we say 30 feet around the home, but it's really about 100 feet. It'll be effective. And we're working on a technology that is 1,000 times what you're seeing, in partnership with utilities and a demonstration contract with PG&E that we're hoping will protect a 300-foot perimeter around their most critical infrastructure.
So with this home run, the defensible space that we all have to use to rebuild is 5 feet or whatever.
Yes.
So this 500 watts would cover that.
Yes.
And what you're doing that's 100 times more powerful potentially will cover us and our neighbors.
Yep.
Should somebody else's house catch fire, but it will cover mine and the person on the other side as well.
Exactly. So every fire starts small. And in this case, every fire that started was caused by embers. And that those embers caused those buildings to burn, create radiant heat, transfer that. I mean, we saw that from home to home. We also saw that dramatically the next days through a connected fuel, like a wooden fence. I mean, I remember it just being devastating, seeing, the communities. I think at this point it was going towards La Cañada, and we just saw structure by structure over days. And that to me was preventable. So with this technology, when the fire comes to a point where the molecules are oscillating, the ignition just breaks, it stops. It doesn't continue to occur, as you saw in the pan on a small scale. But these are the larger demonstrations we're going to be doing in the coming months. And if I say each home is unique, it's because, you know, if you think about the herd immunity piece and a whole block adopts this, then you've got, you know, go 30 feet coverage on every home, and you've got effectively this dome. This
You have an urban fire break.
You have the urban fire break. But, you know, if the neighbors aren't adopting it, you may want to be in 10 feet, you want to be 30 feet, depends how much space you really have and want it fed. But it also depends on how we work or how we adjust the emitters, so how we point them out. Because we deploy in a cone frequency.
Yeah, it looks very much like the water, what are those called? Like go down?
Yeah, rain gutter.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
the rain gutters. Looks like a
So,
rain gutter.
I looked at a house, I thought, where do we put this thing?
So aesthetically, it would be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or not member models. Thought, oh, we can use the rain gutters, put it on the exterior of the house. We rethink rain gutters. They don't only capture water, but they operate as a fire suppression technology. So that's what we're thinking. Makes no sense, but each home is different.
I have one more. I'll let you go in a minute, but you're PR. So obviously we want to know, this is new technology, but how ready is SonicFire Tech to put these in homes? Because we also know that Altadena has a ton more permits than Palisades, and we have about 30 a week that are starting builds. And so everybody has to show that, having to show that they will get these fire sprinklers.
Yep.
But if somebody hears about this on either our podcast today or somewhere else, then if they go, oh, I want this, instead of the fire sprinklers, my insurance company wants it so they don't pay for water damage and everything else. Are you ready to put this in someone's house?
We are ready to aggregate that demand, but currently the code is mandating fire sprinklers. So we are working with Fire Sprinkler Association. We are working with UL, FM, and NFPA for the certifying bodies. We are going through the certification process. We're kicking it off in January. The installation of the materials is all certified. The 4-inch ducting system is a already certified material for builders. The electrical setup is certified. There's a process there. The detector is certified. The only thing that's not certified is the acoustic generator box that you hook up to the system. So you can certainly build with the infrastructure in place to adopt the technology when it is certified. At that time, the price point of the technology will certainly be less than it is today. But the reality is as a business, we need people to invest and adopt the technology in its current state in order for us to get there 12 to 18 months from now with a certified product. That's 1 to 2% of a home's value. And that price point is applicable from a $1 million home to a $15 million home.
So 12 to 18 months, I heard you just say. So people that are building right now and don't want to wait 12 to 18 months will not be able to utilize this. Or they'd have to pay what they pay now for regular fire sprinklers and then pay you all later if they want to convert, which is a whole nother.
I ask those folks who desire to rebuild as quickly as possible to think about the mandates that are in place, to question those. From what I'm hearing with the local builders, and Allison mentioned this earlier, we're having an issue with even getting the water department to answer and return calls to test pressure and answer what they're going to do about the pressure that's not there for these homeowners and builders to meet the mandate for internal sprinkler systems. So I think while you're looking to rebuild in 12 to 18 months, and that may seem realistic for some, this is an opportunity to think a little bit differently. In my experience, building takes a lot longer than 12 to 18 months. Not only plan approvals, but the supplies, the materials, getting everything in motion. And I'm here to invite an idea of building smarter. I also ask that you reach out to Allison at PCI or myself directly, because I want to get a letter of interest from you about the technology. It's my job is to aggregate that with tens of thousands of people across the state and take that straight to the governor's office and demand an executive order with 50 fire chiefs behind me that say, we need this over water-based suppression internal on a home I want to take that with the insurers who say it makes more sense than water suppression. I want to take it with Department of Water and Power and our local water municipalities and say, it's going to be $2 billion for us to invest in this infrastructure in order to meet these mandates. It doesn't make sense. And the water conservancy boards and groups that recognize this is our most valuable resource. We cannot build more homes depending on a resource that is getting less and less available. That doesn't make sense.
So that answer is no, we're not ready now. Yes, 12 to 18 months
Yeah.
or more, because we have all this legal stuff that we need to do and regulatory stuff and all of that.
Yes,
Thank you.
but we need you to demand it.
All right, let's go.
That's why we're here today.
Let's say there's a fire going on and I look up and I go get my pack. Can I just spray my whole house because you said that it won't catch on fire after a while? Just spray my whole house and my house should be, should not catch fire. How long does it last when you gave the example of it not relighting, the gas not relighting? So I've sprayed my house. How long does it stay fireproof?
Yeah, so this is not a spray.
Or
This needs to run continuously because we are modifying the atmosphere. We're oscillating oxygen at a rate we can consume it, but fire can't. So we need to be running continuously. And in that, we need to run continuously for days. As long as chemical trace of fire is protected, the system's running and defending the home. I don't know you personally, but I'm assuming you're Wonder Woman. And,
Yeah.
but most won't be fine. And I highly recommend against staying, especially in that environment. Get out of there. We want to rethink how a home autonomously defends itself when you're gone. That's the goal here.
Are there challenges to installing the system on an existing home, or are you versus like putting it in a new build?
No, so we are modifying several existing homes from here to Santa Barbara in the first quarter of the year. And the goal there is we're working on a modified rain gutter system. So your rain gutter is 3.5 inches to 5 inches, depending. We are going to take that and make it a 6-inch rain gutter box. That 6-inch rain gutter will contain a 4-inch duct that will be fully enclosed and then have a 3-inch gutter in front of it. That'll run around the home with emitters like this every 10 feet. And that way you'll have a modern aesthetic to your home. We have round copper. We could run just bent aluminum and metal rain gutters. And so it's aesthetically pleasing and it's dual function and a smarter use of that space under them, but also aesthetically pleasing. So that's the goal.
I'm a fire sprinkler contractor, so with your question, in all reality, maybe 12 to 18 months down the line, wouldn't we be able to remove the sprinkler heads off an existing fire sprinkler system and possibly install emitters to like lower the cost of actually repiping the entire house?
Yeah. So we're doing a lot of research there right now, but what we found is at 20 hertz or 24 hertz and below, there's a long form sound wave that needs to travel through the ducting system in a unique way. And that 4-inch duct is really the perfect ideal size out of a 2-inch emitter. So out of a 2-inch sprinkler that produces that cone of suppression. So that 1.5-inch line would not be compatible with the system. So this is why, as we're building new homes, we think put a 4-inch system right along that 1.5-inch. It's a small investment. It could be HDPE, PVC, and you'll be set up to then turn off the water and put it on the acoustic generator when the time comes. But what I envision for the future for yourself and the fire sprinkler industry is a more valuable system that has less liability and the same requirements of installation of a water-based system. So we're leveraging your expertise, your licensing, we're providing you a new product, generate more demand for that system, and we're directly reducing liability for the internal use because you don't have the collateral damage associated with water-based systems. So mold damage, remediation, et cetera. But we need your technical expertise. We need you guys installing it. We're building the technology and deploying it, but we're counting on you and that whole industry to install. We'll get it done. Hold on.
I have a question from a viewer on a podcast that says, for those property owners who are able to rebuild within the next 12 to 18 months, what is the projected cost to retrofit a real rebuilt home later once the technology is approved by the state? Do you have an estimated or a projected cost?
Yeah, our goal in 18 months is to be at a scale of thousands of units deployed, and that would be a price point of 1 to 2% of your home's value. And why I say 1 to 2% is because that's in line with home improvements and it also scales with aesthetic demands for different price points of infrastructure.
Around 25, 30,000 for $1 million homes up here, which all of them would be.
Yeah.
When you
It's in
rebuild.
line with a
Which
water-based
is-
fire
yeah.
sprinkler.
Okay, one last question from me, and then I'm gonna just bring you on the podcast so you can answer all the
Hey,
rest.
I'm here
But
for you.
all of those that do and or will have solar, because we know that at first it was mandated, now it's optional, but a lot of people are gonna get it. These are batteries,
Yes.
right? The other box is a battery. Will it tie in to a solar system so that it's more effective, or is there something to eliminate the battery, or how will that work?
Yeah, so the system is designed to be highly efficient, run on backup battery. So that could be a Tesla Powerwall, a backup generator, whatever backup battery you have attached to that solar infrastructure. And the idea is, in a perfect world, you leave the house, you evacuate, that system kicks on when it senses ignition, it deploys that frequency and keeps it consistently running until there's no threat detected, leveraging that backup battery and that solar. But you mentioned solar, and we as a community are used to the rebates on solar, the rebates on artificial turf for reduced water usage. I foresee in that 12 to 18 months, systems being adopted will have that same rebate and incentive to them as well.
Nice, thank you.
The one last thing, I think you touched on it, but I want to make sure that you pointed out the concept about sound waves just in general, right? We can stand outside a stadium and we can hear the sound. So the concept about sound waves being effective here and kind of more to your point about herd immunity, and if it's on one house, does the house right next door actually need it? Do sound waves travel and all that?
Yeah, so we say yes, everybody needs it, and we think about scalability and herd immunity as being the answer to that catastrophic event of a conflagration that we saw and experienced. And we think through the requirement of resources as being self-contained. So we need the system to operate on its own. But sound does travel. We're all familiar with the sonic boom. We're all familiar with hearing outside of the stadium, what's going on inside the stadium, or the bass at concerts. We feel that pressure wave. We feel it in our bodies when we stand at that speaker. The difference here is while we're operating sound waves and we're deploying them at a very high decibel level, and you could feel that pressure wave coming out, we are operating below the audible frequency for humans, house pets, and most animals. So in doing so, yes, sound does travel. And one question we get a lot is, well, how does it work in wind? We're not susceptible to wind and gravity in the same way water is. We are bumping molecules. We're surrounded by molecules, we're bumping them, we're vibrating them, and it's hard to measure that, we can't see it. But we do have tools that we can measure it in an environment. And when we do our larger tests, we will be validating with third parties and fire service how this system is being active beyond what we're saying is the suggested range, or within the suggested range as well. But yeah, this is again a paradigm shift, and I've got a team of former NASA engineers that are much smarter than me as it relates to physics. But I'm the guy that found it in the lab and brought it to my community to say we need to bring it from space into the real world and solve one of these pressing problems we have here on Earth. Yes.
Mentioned what you're doing to get mandates changed legislatively, but from an advocacy side, what could a community do? Is there a petition? Is there a muster thing? Should they send letters to their local electeds? What could a community do to really beef up the legislative efforts from an advocacy side?
Yeah, so great question. Today, we're here to invite that support from the community in all ways and shapes and forms to communicate. Working with Allison directly, focused on leveraging our resources within the community to get the community activated to write your local mayor, local congressman, local councilman or woman. And the goal here, though, is we want to aggregate that support and lead that conversation with those policymakers. We are having conversations with the insurance commissioner's office, with the insurers, with the utilities, with homeowners, and with local policymakers and with the fire service. So we're not here to put the blame on one person or one entity or one group. This is a stakeholder problem for all of us. The tail end risk is with us as homeowners. It's with the utilities that are being, have to provide or pay the fine. It's with municipalities and recognizing infrastructure not working. But it takes all of us adopting and thinking differently about new technology to make the change. So the more pressure we put on the system, the more the system will respond. And so we're here to get that support, and we'll ask for it in every single way you mentioned. All right, so now I'll show you guys a little bit of the demo here. All right, now for the drama. Daniel, why don't you show watch-out for detectors? All right, so we work with the most sensitive detectors. It's an Optech sensor out of the UK. This is UL-FM rated and certified. It can measure a big candle from, I believe it's 1,500 yards out, so very long way. And we could use the most sensitive detectors because we're not afraid to fly our van. What you'll see is when I bring this flame and the frame, it'll recognize it, it'll detect it, and it'll kick on the system. The system will run for about 30 seconds after it detects no chemical trace. Let's put this. All right. That's what I'm saying. All right. So we hear a lot about Zone Zero and from our home where embers relate ignite with transfer heat that burns your house down. We're going to offer a different solution that is designed to protect your Zone Zero by preventing a non-ignition zone by again vibrating oxygen, oscillating oxygen that's around us to create an environment where fire can't exist. But rather than show you how we're going to prevent this ignition like I did in Japan, we'll actually light it and show you our system detect it and then suppress it. So we're going to help your recently watered juniper with a little bit of alcohol. All right, here we go. that's it. The point is to be anticlimactic. Point is for that fire not to ignite our homes and to not use water or chemicals to suppress it. So again, we are SonicFire Tech and we are putting out fire with sound waves.
And even seeing the fire staying inside of the tree.
We're also going to have to light a
They need to
fire.
make this available now.
You can see it and put it out, but I also want to show you a couple things on the screen in a second after Allison presents. But we took this to the chief of San Bernardino Fire Department, Chief Dan Muncie. He couldn't believe what he saw after this demonstration, so he poured 5 gallons of gasoline on one of these poor junipers, lit it, and was able to put out that within 10 seconds using the backpack. So we'll show you more active fire on the screen.
You can grab the bright ones too.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Check the tree. No, you check the tree.
Yeah, ready?
Okay.
They're done.
So we've heard about how this will literally relieve our water infrastructure that we cannot service all these homes. But we also need to understand the impact of our insurance policies, because when I read, we know State Farm was pulling out. We know that some people are unable to get insurance or they're going to be on CalFare plan and the prices are skyrocketing. We have somebody here with a quote for $28,000 a year for his insurance. Anything we can do for the long-term affordability of this community, because yes, we'll do our best to build back, safe, home hardened, affordably. But what about the long term? What about that insurance policy? We can't let people go uninsured anymore. That was a huge problem. Tony and I have talked about that. So this right here, insurance companies, when we talk about the exterior, that's why it's easy for SonicFire to go, because it's not really monitored. It's not, there's no permit for exterior suppression for a resident.
No certification.
No
It's
certification.
an unregulated space.
Exactly.
Exterior defense of the home.
But on the inside of homes, and the reason that I'm trying to help him get this to market as fast as possible is that insurance companies know exactly how much they pay to remediate after a fire sprinkler goes off or a fire sprinkler fails or it leaks. And I've been that remediator. I have been to apartment buildings where a whole stack of apartments flood. Everybody loses their stuff. They have to get new floors, drywall, insulation, you name it. And what I don't want to see for people who lost their homes and even people who didn't lose their homes, who had to lose all their furniture, their clothes in the remediation process. Let's not risk that again, because if the fire sprinklers go off to protect a small candle fire, now they're losing their floors, they're losing their furniture, and that trauma can possibly come back. So I am trying to make sure we build in a way that this just doesn't happen again. We don't have to worry about another remediation. So here's the call to action that I want everybody to do. Me and my partner Ken Peterson and also the other general contractor Kendra Mays in this area, we have committed to selling as many or getting enough letter of intent so that 5,000 units pre-sold or agreed upon to bring the price point down, like he said, and to also use those letters of intent to go and advocate. So again, as my role as an advocate for small businesses and communities, I saw this and I was like, this is literally our future and we have to push it now. I want to see it in Altadena. I'm going to get it in Altadena. We're going to do it. And I hope we can do it sooner than 12 months. We'll do everything we can. I have resources here you've been watching. We're going to do everything. So go to pci.builders. P as in my actual company name is Plum Crazy Incorporated. So it's for Plum, the pci.builders/Sonic. And that goes to both of us. If you do go to sonicfiretech.com, just let them know this is part of this Altadena project because we worked really hard to get this together. Tony Talks and Altadena Talks, they're here and this is our community. So let's join forces because I even have an assistant running around taking down the names of all the builder signs on the rebuild area so that we can email them and create a database. So we're here to bring as many builders as possible. And as I am rebuilding, I absolutely will put this infrastructure in. And fire sprinklers are one of the last things to get permitted. Like it's a separate permit and it's a different inspection. I'm just going to sit there and see how fast we can make this move. But I'm definitely putting these pipes in everybody's home. Because again, PVC is not that expensive. And when we're ready to make that change, we're going to do it. I'm just trying so hard for people not to waste any money at all on these water-based sprinkler systems because that's not necessary. But I appreciate you so much, Armington. Thank you so much for this work. And I hope we can make a difference here in Altadena and show the world what we got.
Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Altadena.
Thanks, Ryan.
Here to answer any questions you guys have.
Altadena Talks. You guys have any questions
Yeah, currently, nothing is preventing this.
that I need to ask for you?
First thing I just submit to the phone is the exterior.
Not seeing any more. Marcus said awesome, thank you.
No additional questions right now.
Said no additional questions.
Looking at the screen, never fall out of my ear like.
At least you know he's listening.
Great work, thank you. Oh, I think when I went and checked that tree, and it's not even porched really. You know what, let's go and do a close-up of the tree, because I want people to see there. What I saw.
Based on technologies that latent detection because of the risk.
Like,
probably.
this is some of the
What's that strip?
branches that, started to burn. But in here, look, this is what was burning.
It's like fake snow at Christmas.
Right. And it's like barely, even the main stem is not burnt. And he poured the alcohol down, right?
Yeah.
And so this is where, Ian, you getting this too?
Yeah.
This is an opportunity.
This is where some started to burn, but what was it? About 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds total for the
Well,
whole
it never,
thing you put out?
the flame never.
Yeah, it
went
never
up.
really ignited. It burned
Never went up.
a little bit. And this is where it had the most.
And it kept going until the smoke stopped.
Until the smoke stopped. Exactly. So it really,
It looks like dandruff.
look, here's one piece that burned and fell off. Yes, it does. But that's all it burned. It did not burn the entire branch.
Right.
And it's out.
It's totally out. When I came and I said, I want to see it, it was out. Yeah. So this is the most damage that was done. Oh, I'm getting stuck by this Jupiter, but even down here, amazing. Yeah, they need to get this in front of our governor.
Sarita, we actually had a question, or I had a question about that.
Whether oscillating
When,
molecules were
Allison was on the actual show, and it doesn't affect the body. You're okay. You're perfectly
Correct.
fine. It's short bursts. It's not long enough for it to affect us at all. Go ahead, Tony.
So yeah, it's not burst, it's continuing. It's not short burst. It's
Always correct.
under here with anyways, we're some down. And until about 30 seconds after the fire was totally put out.
Yes.
There's a question.
Yes.
Have they tested whether? You want to say it?
That's what
Oh,
she
go
was
ahead. Oh, you are answering. Okay.
And it does not harm. The only ones that hear it, Remington told me, are wolves, and we don't have wolves up here. We got mountain lions, bobcats, deer.
We did.
Affected the not the fire molecules, and then the oxygen that fire creates, it crushes that basically. That. Yeah, it crushes it, suffocates it, and puts it out. But the molecules that are used will not affect the molecules in our body. No, it's
Well,
basically
But to the point. Right, that's my dog name. Saying. Yes, music. Yeah. So then it's this is like this. Oh, yeah.
No, I went all and very blurry. So can you all hear me? Are there any other questions from our audience? Let's see.
Yeah, they said.
Again, None at the moment.
Yeah, have they tested the weather? Okay. So,
Yeah, this works way better than water. I forgot to even talk about the fact that like was water on a grease fire in your kitchen?
well,
Once
that's
you
what
have a
I'm
brief
talking, I'm talking about car fires. I asked him that question.
Exactly.
He said yes.
Because
But I think,
sometimes they can make it worse depending on the type of fire.
yeah, exactly. And I think that it's great that they're making investments into checking with EV or that tech, because we know when our fire happened, all of the cars that were EVs like mine, they had to spray EV because, and the solar houses and lithium for the solar panels, you can't treat it the same way. And you can't
It's not
dispose of
a
it the
fire
same
away
way.
from
So you have to,
your
exactly,
home battery.
which is why I asked that, like, how is that?
That probably really aided the fire and spreading.
Well, no, open gas lines. did.
Also
More
the
than
open gas
right.
line.
But Edison could, I mean, the gas company said they couldn't turn them on because it
Oh,
would
then-
create a background and made it a lot worse. I talked to the gas company and I said, why didn't you guys turn off the gas line? They said we couldn't.
We have earthquake
Because
shut off,
That's
so
true,
we would have
Marcus.
like.
Make
three
sure you
shut offs.
share it.
That's
Everybody
what
who's
we
watching,
don't try
please
to send that.
share
Absolutely.
this episode because everybody needs to see this. This is going to change how homes are built and the mode for protection. Go ahead.
Oh,
I have nothing to say. I'm just coming on here to let everybody know that we're done. And Jamal's probably going to go ahead and go into the announcements. But thank you guys for watching. You know, we're on the scene, crispy and clean. We're always trying to bring you the information first live. We don't have time for that edit stuff. So thank you for participating. And the next time we're on location, you know I'll be there. You know me, I'm goofy, dude.
Absolutely, man, as you should be.
Let me turn you around so you can see what I was working with here. So today, I was filming with the big guns today, and of course, I'm watching it right here as I'm doing it, so that I can bring you all your questions that you've been asking.
Of course.
So, and of course, you had people out here today.
How
So
how
you
many
can
people were
see.
there?
Probably like 20.
That's not bad. So you know
Well,
what's
it
going to
was
happen.
people
This is
that
gonna
really
get
wanted
bigger.
to find out about it.
Yeah, it's going to get bigger. So next time they do it, it's probably going to be 2 to 3 times that size after the word gets out on how effective it is. And yeah, it's just going to grow. It really is.
and so
Okay, well, you've been watching Altadena Talks podcast live on the scene at Victory Bible Church. I'm going to send it back to you, Jamal, so that you can go ahead and finish up the announcements. And we'll see you soon. I'm going to head over to Pinocchio's. LA Fire Justice is doing a luncheon and a meet and greet. If you have any questions? And they're offering pizza and some other pizza and talking.
Yeah, it's
Get
one
you
of the
some
flyers
info.
I'm going to talk about too. Yep.
Exactly, but I just wanted to let you know in case I might shoot over there and go live from that spot too. So,
Ooh, pizza sounds delicious too.
yeah, I might have to bring you some slices. Okay, so I'm gonna shoot over to there. By the time you finish the announcements, I'll probably go live from over there. So stay tuned for that.
All right, pop in whenever, bro.
All
Glad
right.
you were there.
Yeah, me too.
Thank
It took
Tony.
me the traffic. I was falling asleep on the freeway, so the traffic was going so slow.
All right, well, I'm gonna take Tony out because all we're doing is looking at her.
Oh yeah,
her
yeah, yeah.
shirt
Take
right
us
now.
both out. Take us both out this thing.
All right, everybody. So that was Tony and Brian. They were live at Victory Bible Church. There for a demo of SonicFire Tech. What it basically was doing was, oops, I'm sorry, I can hear myself on the TV. I gotta mute that right now. But they were showing how fires can be put out by the use of sound, and they're actually using a device that looks like a garden blower, you know, like a leaf blower that the gardeners have, slightly larger, so the backpack, but you can pop it on. It's about 50 pounds, I think, and it's one of those things. Obviously, the fire has to be relatively small. Obviously, if you can get to it as quickly as possible, the better. But it actually, you know, within 10 seconds, put fires out, and it's using sound. Um, It's not water. It's not going to damage the property in a different way, even though it will put out the fire, like sprinklers do. It just, uses a sound, and it's a beautiful thing. So now with that, I am going to go ahead and do the announcements. I'm going to do the whole thing today because I haven't done the whole thing in a while. And then Brian may actually pop on he's going to be at one of the events I'm going to talk about. So here we go with the announcements. All right, so we're going to start. Let me get this banner off. I apologize. Get this off and this off. So we're going to start with the Altadena Community Center. It is located at 730 East Altadena Drive in Altadena. They are open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Visit the Altadena Community Center to meet with Small Business Administration before their last day on site, which is on the 17th, which is tomorrow. That's the last day they will be there. Not that they won't help you any longer, but that's the last day they'll be there in person. So definitely check them out if you're interested in seeing the SBA. And if you'd like to get a list of all the departments and services that will be at the Altadena Community Center before you go, you can scan the QR code on the screen. And then we still have the LA County One-Stop Permit Center, which is at 464 West Woodbury Road, Suite 210 in Altadena. They have walk-in hours Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. You can do a rebuild consultation appointment for an individual or a small group on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. or on Saturdays from 8 to noon. You can also do a Southern California Edison planner appointment Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 a.m. to noon. And to actually set these up, you do have to go to the website recovery.lacounty.gov/rebuilding /1-stop-permit-centers. Once you're there, you scroll to the bottom when you get to the Altadena section, and you can click schedule, and then you can set the time up for however you'd like. The county is waiving and refunding permit fees. For those who are unaware, it's for those homeowners rebuilding after the Eaton or Palisades fire. Basically, if you're a homeowner who's already paid your fees, you could potentially have them refunded. If you're a homeowner who is yet to pay your fees, you could potentially have them waived. To qualify, however, you must be an applicant who demonstrates that you both owned and lived in the property prior to the 7th of January. Now, in addition, you have to be working on an eligible project. For example, the replacement of a single-family home that was destroyed by either fire. Now, that does include any accessory structures like a garage, ADU, pool, that kind of thing. It also does include standalone ADUs that would be used for temporary occupancy during the rebuilding. What's not eligible, though, are commercial properties, rentals, multifamily or temporary housing projects, or properties that were not damaged by the fires. Now, if you think that you want to get a waiver or a refund, you will have to fill out a form. To get to the form, you would scan the QR code on the screen, which is blocked by our comments. Let me remove that real quick, just so you can see it. So you can scan the QR code on the screen, or you can go to recovery.lacounty.gov/fee-waivers-and-refunds. Now, once you do that, you can fill out the form online and do one of two things. You can either print a copy of it and walk it into the One-Stop Permit Center, or you can attach it to an email and email it to recovery@planning.lacounty.gov. Either way, you only need one form. It covers all the departments, and then you're taken care of. Then Cal Assist Mortgage Fund is still going on. They are providing mortgage relief. Mortgage relief in the amount of 3 months of mortgage payments up to $20,000. Now, the funds never have to be repaid, and it is free to apply. The grants are paid directly to your mortgage servicer if you qualify. Now, to be eligible, your primary residence must have been destroyed or considered uninhabitable due to either the Eaton or Palisades fire, or any other disaster, qualified disaster, from the 1st of January of 23 through the 8th of January of 25. You also must have owned and occupied the home, and it could have up to 4 units on the property. And lastly, you must meet the combined income limits of $211,000. Now, if you do apply, you want to be prepared to provide your mortgage statement or copies of your mortgage statement, your bank statements, utility bills, homeowners insurance or FEMA claim, as well as your proof of income. And lastly, to actually apply, you want to go to calisismortgagefund.org. The very top of the page, there is an apply link that you can go ahead and click. If you need some assistance in filling out the form, you can get telephone help by calling 800-501-0019 Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Or you can actually get some help in person by going to either the One Stop Rebuild Center at 1828 Sawtell Boulevard in LA, or by going to Altadena Community Center, again at 730 East Altadena Drive in Altadena. They're open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Now we're getting into the local events. So every Monday and Tuesday at Harambe Ministries, in conjunction with Project Passion, there is a freedom shop for the Eaton Fire survivors. Now it's available 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. each Monday and Tuesday. It is by appointment only, and the only way to schedule the appointment is by scanning the QR code or by going to the website tinyurl.com/Harambe Freedom Store. Now, Harambe is located at 1609 Navarro's Avenue in Pasadena, and the items will vary from toiletries to home essentials and much more. And then the Eaton Health Village is still providing free medical and mental health clinics every Monday and Wednesday from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. The location is 1280 East Washington Boulevard in Pasadena. They accept walk-ins, or you can call to schedule your appointment, or you can call to get questions answered at 951-595-7032. The primary services, which are there each Monday and Wednesday, are medical consultations, medication refills, as well as mental health services and case management. On a monthly basis, they have vision and dental services. Now, there is a resource rally. It's a drive-through free food distribution happening today from 11 to 1 p.m. It's at the Pasadena Sierra Madre YMCA, which is located at 611 East Sierra Madre Boulevard in Sierra Madre. There will be free products available for families while supplies last, such as shelf-stable food, hygiene items, personal care items, and Squishmallow plush toys. This is sponsored by Costco. So if you do need this, please definitely go on down there. And as Brian had mentioned right before he got off, LA Fire Justice and SBA ODRR pop-up is happening today. So join LA Fire Justice and the Small Business Administration at Pinocchio's Pizza for helpful information and support for those impacted by the Eaton fire. The deadline for applying for assistance from the SBA is tomorrow, the 17th. So let me correct something I said before. I said they weren't going to be at the resource center, at the community center after tomorrow, but you could still get help afterwards. Well, apparently the deadline is tomorrow, and that's why they're leaving. So keep that in mind. So this is happening today from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at Pinocchio's Pizza, located at 1449 North Lake Avenue in Pasadena. There's free parking, and then the food and beverages will be provided. So if you have any questions about where you stand relating to being a fire survivor and the rebuilding or dealing with the legal situation, you can go there and get some questions answered today. And then My Tribe Rise does have the Adopt a Survivor matching fund drive. They're trying to raise $1 million for Altadena families. What are they trying to do? They're trying to raise $500,000 or they raised 500,000 and trying to raise an additional 500,000 in matching funds to reach their goal of $1 million. The match structure ensures the impact of every donor dollar is doubled. So what they're trying to do is make sure they get to $1 million so they can help over 50 families or up to 50 families. If you're interested in donating, please scan the QR code in the upper right portion of this flyer. And then tomorrow and every Wednesday, Juicy Little Finds Thrift Store has the We Out Here Market from 12 to 3 p.m. at the world famous Fair Oaks Burger. This is at 2560 North Fair Oaks Avenue in Altadena. You got to make sure that you bring your proof of Altadena residency, which is your ID. And some of the items that are there are going to be free farmers market, free vegan hot meals, free groceries, free hygiene products, free thrift store pop-up, free legal advice, free love and prayers, and much more. They do ask that you bring your own bag. And if you would like additional information, please reach out to juicylittle.org. And then there's the ornaments for Altadena provided by Frontline Relief Foundation, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. I may have the address incorrect because this is in conjunction with another group, and I put the address for Frontline Relief. I'll verify that and change it tomorrow if need be. But for now, if you go to 2150 Glen Rose Avenue between 11 and 5, if it's the wrong address, I'm sure they will redirect you. And then we have happening this Thursday at 1 p.m. at the Loma Alta Park Gymnasium. It's a senior winter formal. And again, senior is meant to be individuals 50 years of age or older. It's taking place, and if you don't know the location or the address, is 3330 North Lincoln Avenue. Again, the gymnasium at Loma Alta Park. There's activities, entertainment, mixologies, photo booth, all kind of good stuff. DJ Kat and DJ David will be providing the live music or the music, as well as there being food and drinks. If you'd like additional information, you can reach out to 626-206-9313. And then the first annual Altadena Cars and Coffee Christmas Tree Lane Cruise. That's happening Thursday, the 18th. They're asking that you meet up at 7:30 p.m. at 741 East Altadena Drive. And then the cruise is going to actually start at 8 p.m. So that should actually be pretty fun. Everybody just goes in a nice line and goes down and probably up Christmas Tree Lane. So that actually sounds like it could be pretty fun. Then we have the Eat and Fire Collaborative Holiday Gathering. It's happening also this Thursday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Eat and Fire Collaboratory at 540 West Woodbury Road in Altadena. Join them for a casual evening of community, coffee, and conchas as they take a moment to appreciate the hard work everyone has put in this year and look ahead to the year to come. Everything they do is carried out with survivors in mind, guided by their experiences, needs, and hopes. They look forward to gathering with you and celebrating the collective effort and heart that makes this work possible. They do ask that you RSVP, so you can RSVP at bit.ly. Well, you can see that link there, or you can scan the QR code to go ahead and register and RSVP. Only a few more slides and we'll be done. So Rebuild Altadena invites you to Kids Christmas Craft Night. It's for families rebuilding after the fires. It's taking place December 18th. And this is from 4 to 6 p.m. The location is 129 Marengo Avenue. There's going to be several giveaways for those recovering from the loss, such as Christmas trees, holiday wreaths, as well as a mystery craft bag. So the community is here for you, especially during the holidays. This particular event is crafted for children affected by the recent fires to experience joy, creativity, and a sense of normalcy again. Crafts for rebuilding hope, ornament making, wish tree for families, dreams, and intentions, as well as supportive community atmosphere. Please take part in this if you got some kids who really want to try to have some normalcy and want to do some crafty things, some real creative items. And then the Altadena Cookie Company is actually providing or having a Christmas party that you're invited to. You get a chance to visit with Santa, decorate a cookie, and get some hot cocoa from Unincorporated. This is located at 3027 Lincoln Avenue, and it takes place on Saturday, the 20th. Time tickets are available from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and you would go to AltadenaCookieCo.com to go ahead and block out your time. I went there earlier today, and there's still some time slots available. And then we have the holiday cheer and candied rebuild chats happening this Saturday from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's going to be at a location in La Cañada, Flint Ridge. You won't know the address until you actually join or register. And you can register by scanning the QR code or going to the link below. There's going to be a holiday dinner, treats, and warm beverages. Well, excuse me, a welcoming space to reconnect with neighbors, key officials, and industry professionals, tribute displays honoring community resilience, and open conversations about recovery and renewal. In addition to scanning or going to the link, you can go to sustaineco@yahoo.com to register. Excuse me. And then, as shared yesterday by Toni, Harambe Performing Arts presents Bethlehem. It's an original hip hop musical written and directed by Courtney Lindsay. And hold on a second. It's happening this Saturday, the 20th. It's one show only. The doors open at 6 p.m. The location is John Muir High School, which is 1905 Lincoln Avenue, and it is in Pasadena. And the tickets are available by scanning the QR code or going to harambe.org. A couple more to go, and then we'll be wrapping this up. This last one. So Dina Rebuild and Restore is providing a family holiday bash. It's going to be on Saturday the 20th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. The location is La Cañada Congregational Church, which is 1200 Foothill Boulevard in La Cañada, Flint Ridge. There's going to be new clothing, toys, free haircuts, free family photos, arts and crafts, as well as a visit from Santa. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more of these visits from Santa and other items and events that I'm going to bring throughout the rest of the week. If you guys have anything, please feel free to share them with us. You know, our personal text messages, you can send them there. You can send it to altadenatalks@gmail.com or info@altadenatalks.com. A bunch of different ways you can send it. We want to thank you very much for showing up today and participating in this show, episode 240. And hopefully you like the demonstration of the SonicFire Tech. This is actually some really, really cool technology that could be really beneficial in some early combating of fires. If you have this technology, if you see something going on and it's early enough, you could probably put it out and help reduce the impact of any type of fire that you may be experiencing. So hopefully this technology becomes required and is approved. So now with that, I hope you guys have an amazing Tuesday. Tune in with us tomorrow for episode 241. It's Hump Day. It's Wellness Wednesdays. And again, have a fabulous day, and we will see you mañana. All right. Peace out, everybody.